What's going on YouTube? This is DreThePlug coming at you guys with some more technical heat, and in this video I'm just going to describe to you guys the importance of basically having a software internship or having an engineering internship. I just want to break down to you guys really how internships are extremely important when you're in college. Okay, so I'm gonna break down the 5 key points as to why having an internship is detrimental when you're in college and you're a tech type of major or you're an engineering type of major. I just want to break down the main 5 benefits that you'll receive when actually getting an internship while you're in college. Okay, so jumping into number 1, your experience, it follows you for life. So just look at it like this. Pretty much anybody can go out and just say, you know, I did this, I completed that, I have this project on my resume, and really just make themselves so shiny. But I mean, it's totally different when you're at a point to where you have people that can co-sign everything that you did. They know how you interact with other people. They could tell you about the type of work that you did. You can prove that you killed this milestone, you killed this goal, you completed this for the company, this thing that you completed or created, it actually helped out the company and other people can co-sign it. It's a whole another ball game when you have people co-signing you when you're going to go get like another job or even get moved up in a company. So jumping into number 2, one of the other benefits of having an internship as a tech major or as an engineer is the fact that you're 9 times out of 10 going to get paid pretty well. I'll say it'll range between like being a freshman around like 25, going all the way up to being around a senior to getting about 45, maybe even more than that. But just the fact that you get paid as an intern is amazing. On top of that, majority of engineering companies or big tech companies, they always pay for relocation. So if you're living somewhere else and they want you to work somewhere far away from where you live, 9 times out of 10, if the milestone is far enough, they'll pay for your whole expenses. Also, I know companies that pay for housing and everything. Like, that's another really good experience. And I mean, also being an engineering major, being a tech major, 9 times out of 10 our degrees aren't cheap. So it'll be really good to like get that money and just, you know, put some of that off to the side so that way you don't have to pay all of that, all them loans and stuff when you end up graduating. Definitely go check out my loan video that I made a little while back where I really go into details about behind the scenes what most people don't know about when they get these loans. But that's another benefit, is the fact that you get paid. You can start putting money to the side for loans, putting money to the side for whatever you want to purchase. Okay, so jumping into number 3. So for the third one, this one is like one of the most smoothest ones to really get. The best benefits is the fact that people don't zero in on your GPA when you get an internship, or if you land an internship, they won't be so inclined to look at your GPA. So that's one thing you got to really think about when you do get an internship. If you feel like you're one of those people that's not really school savvy like that, like you're not a big fan of taking tests, if you have experience or if you actually get a good internship, it's a good chance that some recruiters won't even care about what your GPA is. I know, especially in California, especially in the Silicon Valley area, majority of them, like, they don't even care about GPAs. I remember I had flew out there and I had a career fair day just to go talk to all of these different companies, and I had a pretty good GPA overall. And basically the recruiters was just like, oh, like they was kind of just looking at me funny, just the fact that I had a GPA on my resume at the time. And I remember even talking to one recruiter. She was from Square, you know, the Cash App company. She basically like just scratched my GPA out and was like, I honestly don't care about GPAs. I just care about what you know and the experience that you have, which I thought was amazing coming from Texas, where oil and gas is huge and oil and gas really take GPAs seriously versus tech companies out in California. So that's something else you could put into perspective, or do some research on those companies if you know for a fact, you know, I don't have the best GPA, but I have a lot of projects that I don't work on. There's a lot of things that I could create. There's a lot of things I could do when it comes down to actually getting stuff done technically. So definitely look into that. I feel like that's an amazing benefit that a good amount of companies will really look past your GPA if you have legit experience when it comes down to your major. Okay, so jumping into tip number 4. So one thing about getting an internship is the fact that in most cases, if you don't mess up, if everything go according to plan and you knock out all of your projects, just know for sure there'll be a full-time offer waiting on you. If it's not right after that internship, it may be later on down the line when you actually graduate. They may go ahead and just contact you out of the blue and say, we remember that you had worked here. I see that you're about to graduate. We'll like to see if you want to come on with us again full time. So that's another good benefit about actually interning somewhere. I had that happen to me. I had ended up going to another company, and then later on they still contacted me back for a full-time offer later on. So I feel like that's amazing. It's really, really good to build that good relationship when you're an intern. But something you do not want to do is, let's say that you leave, right? And you're like, you know what? I want to re-intern again with this company. And let's just say you sign all of the paperwork and basically you're for sure telling this company that you're coming right back. And then what will end up happening is, if you end up going to another company after you done already signed with this company, that's gonna be a really, really bad look, because it's like we already pretty much knocked out a spot just for you to have coming back, and now you're not gonna be here. So now we have to refill this spot when we could have been searching for somebody else to get this spot that we've been holding for you. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to ruin those relationships, because it makes you look bad and it makes your school look bad. So that's something you do not want to do. But I mean, it's an amazing benefit to just know that you'll have like a spot just waiting on you later on down the line, as long as you play your cards right and don't mess up and just basically do what you have been told to do. So another question that I will always get is, a lot of people will always say, hey man, since you interned there and now you're going back full time, do the company compensate for that? Like, do they give you a little bit more money because you actually interned already versus somebody that's just coming in about to be a full time for the first time, and you're about to be a full time for the first time? Will y'all get the equal amount of pay? It really depends on the experience from the internship. Like, if you actually did like some legit work, in most cases you can get a pretty good pay bump because of that one internship. But in most cases you will get paid more. Will it be a huge difference between the full-time with no experience and with your experience? It really all depends on how good you really did at that internship, and like how did you really impact the company when you was there. So jumping into number 5, which is the final one, is pretty much how you can use and leverage your internship to actually get other internships. Is the fact that it's easy to go into another department. Like, at one point I was working for GE and I was working in oil and gas. And oil and gas, I'll say like it's one of the most difficult type of companies to get in. Like, it's really on a who do you know, how do you know this person type of basis. Like 9 times out of 10, if you're getting into oil and gas, it's some type of connection in most cases. Like, it's the most difficult to get in, at least in Texas to me. Like, that's the main one that I hear when I was at Prairie View A&M and then I was at Texas A&M. All of them pretty much told me that the oil and gas companies, those were the ones that was playing no games. Like, you had to have had an amazing GPA, or you have to have some type of connection or somebody that went to your school. So after I worked for GE Oil and Gas, it was easy for me to just go into other similar companies like Shell or Chevron or Exxon. It was easy for me to talk to them and have a conversation and just explain, like, I know you guys are oil and gas company. I know what you guys are about. I understand y'all work on X, Y, and Z. Because oil and gas, it don't really change too much. It's kind of just different ways of how they go about getting it. So in most cases, if you could explain that and you already have oil and gas experience under your belt, you should be good. And it's easy to get into those doors, get into those interviews with all of the other oil and gas companies. Like I said, I had an interview with Exxon, Shell, and Chevron, all 3 of them after my GE oil and gas one. Just the fact that I had some type of oil and gas experience under my belt. Does that mean that you have to have a company like GE? No, I mean, just the fact that you have some oil and gas experience, or even if it's a really, really small company, the fact that you have some oil and gas experience is gonna make a huge difference when you're trying to go for these big oil and gas companies, because 9 times out of 10, you have to have something that really stand out for you to get into their company. Moral of the story, y'all, definitely try to get an internship if you're a tech major or if you're an engineer before you graduate. If you're a freshman, get after it. Still try to go and apply to as many companies as you possibly can. It's never a limit to how many companies you can apply for. So definitely try to apply to as many as possible. You never know who will end up hitting you back. And companies always say, apply online, but what's gonna be the reaction when they tell you to apply online and you're like, I already did? Gotta really think about that sometimes. And I mean, like, do you really wanna be one of those people that, did your entire degree plan, went to school every single day, didn't miss a class, made sure that every single class you got an A, and you were one of those, 4.0 students that literally got an A in every single engineering class that was offered to you. And then when it's time for you to graduate and walk the stage, you couldn't get a job because you didn't have any internships or any experience. Like, that's so sad, man. And I know too many people that's like that. Like, they have an A in every single engineering class, and then when it came down to graduating, they couldn't get a job, or they still don't have a job to this day, all because they didn't get any type of experience when they were in college. So that's another thing to look for. A lot of these companies, it's getting to the point to where it's just like, a lot of people are starting to jump into tech, and they know that it's the next big thing, it's the hottest thing right now, it's booming. Everybody's trying to create this, make this easier to use, make this tech, make this talk to you. It's like everybody is trying to get into tech nowadays, and it's like, definitely try to actually get some experience. Don't just sit back and like invest all this time into classes that's not gonna matter nearly as much as the experience that you can actually have, and present that to recruiters and stuff. And that concludes this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It really do help the channel. Definitely go check out my Instagram, DreThePlug123. And then go also check out my other YouTube channel. I'll have it linked down below. This was the channel I started a little while ago. It's basically about barbering and basically giving your own self a fresh cut and looking nice when you step out the house. So definitely check out that channel. I do all types of different haircuts. And be looking forward for the next video that drop. And I'm out.